Namaste, Angel. This is a bi-weekly reading for the sign of Virgo through the end of the month, the 31st, beginning with an overall energy of the Ace of Swords, which is a card of victory, getting to the truth of a matter, cutting through any untruth and BS with this sword and getting right down to the heart of it, what's real, what's not. Also about new beginnings. These new beginnings that come with the Ace of Swords are often on the heels of some sort of difficulty with the 10 of Swords preceding the Ace. So the 10 of Swords is representative of betrayal, hurt, loss, strife, struggle, and then once we make it through that, here we have this new beginning. And so it's a well-deserved new beginning, and that's why this is a card of victory. Now, seeing that the 7 of Swords is behind it, behind this Ace of Swords. 7 of Swords for me, I call it the card of joy stealing. And you see this guy is actually stealing. But I'm getting this sense, this feeling that this is you stealing away, not in a sense like illegal, like you're robbing something, you're taking something that doesn't belong to you, but stealing away with what is yours. I'm again seeing this as a card of victory, and I'm hearing this thing. I don't know from where this comes, but I remember like my 6th and 7th grade teacher, Sister Trinita, she used to say it, to the victor goes the spoils. I'm not sure what that comes from. I don't remember, maybe a book or something, but whatever it is, I'm hearing that for you. You are victorious. You see, he's got 1, 2, 3 swords on this side and 1, 2 on this side. So it's a total of 5 swords. The 5 of Swords is a card of conflict. And I think, again, that you may have been confronted in some sort of conflict. It can even be legal conflict with the Ace of Swords. But whatever kind of conflict it was, or even if it was about you being conflicted, it's you coming out on top. And so you're stealing away with, you know, what your winnings basically, and leaving these 2 swords behind. The conflict, struggle may have had to do with some sort of pain, hurt, separation, and or a decision that you had to make that you may have struggled with the decision, and because you knew what you wanted to do, you knew what your choice was, but you were concerned about what others would think or how others would feel. Maybe part of a relationship, some sort of party of 3, not necessarily a love triangle, but that's possible. And I'm especially with looking at the 2 swords that are left behind. So like after this 3, like I'm getting rid of this 3, I'm just going to have the 2. And that's representative of your ultimately whatever your choice is. So could have been having something to do with a love triangle. Doesn't have to be, but you ultimately make the decision that is in your heart and soul to do, as opposed to worrying about other people. And it could have to do with something legal, maybe even a divorce. That was difficult to do because how the other person's going to feel, and what is the family going to say? What are they going to think? How are they going to feel about this if these 2 separate? But you finally got up the strength to do it. And of course, for everybody, it's not going to be divorce, but it's something like that. Some sort of you're taking your just earned rewards. And here's another indication of that, right? The patiently waiting for your seeds to grow. So what does materialize is your just rewards. It's yours for the taking. You're the one that waited. You're the one that watered. You're the one that planted and tended. And now here is the result. Oh, wow. Here's the 5 swords. Isn't that funny? Here's the 5 swords as well. Again, this is representative of conflict. And maybe this is you after the battle with the 2 swords in your hand. There's 2 swords in this hand. There's 1, 2, 3 here. Just like in the picture. He had 2 standing up, 2 in one hand, 3 in another hand. And these are the people, these are the losers. Next card is the Page of Cups. It's in reverse. could be about some sort of delayed gratification. Maybe it took a while getting to this point. I am going to shuffle these cards. I've just been in the mood all weekend. I stopped shuffling live. I used to shuffle live in every single reading that I ever did. Any and every deck that I used throughout a reading, I'd shuffle it live. And then in the interest of time, I stopped doing that finally. But I've just been in the mood all weekend to do it, and I've been doing it all weekend. So I'm not going to stop. I'm going to do it for you too. Opening first to the Queen of Wands, a fire sign, maybe particularly significant to some of you, in Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Queen of Wands. And opening to the Knight of Wands as well. He is also a fire sign, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius again. Maybe slightly younger than the Queen. And here's your energy. The Page of Pentacles in reverse. Taurus, Virgo, like yourself. Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. We'll do one more. And it is the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Some of you may be in need of balance in some area of your life. For others, there's a decision that you're needing to make, or that you're awaiting maybe, that's going to affect you. You're juggling your time, your energy between a few different things and or people or relationships. And we come to that Two of Swords in reverse now is your overall energy. So again, I think a decision finally having been made. Two of Swords is about an energy of indecision, the inability to actually decide. And it's because you're torn between, again, your own heart's desires and what other people will think or say. And this is an indication that you finally do choose what you want. And in love, the Two of Swords it doesn't look like a romantic card, but it actually really is. In a general sense, actually, as it relates to partnerships, this can be a card that talks about deepening of relationships. So yes, your romantic partnerships, your work partnerships, your familial partnerships, parent and child, siblings, all these things could be deepening, becoming stronger with the Two of Swords in reverse. Specifically as it relates to love, though, it can be about you pushing too hard. All right, so I'm going to pull 4 cards for you. One is the energy most affecting you, surrounding you, representing you during this time over the period of the next 2 weeks. The surrounding energy is the second card, and that can be some of your energy too, perhaps close friends, family, co-workers, all that kind of stuff, anything surrounding you. The third card will be work and finance, and the fourth card will be your love and relationships. So Virgo, the card, the energy most representing you, Page of Swords in reverse. You are ruled by Mercury, which is air and logic of the planet of communication. And so this makes sense for you. It's in reverse. The energy most directly surrounding you, the Six of Pentacles, also in reverse. Some of you may need to get better at receiving. Six of Pentacles is about the ability to both give and receive, but usually we got to get better at being on the receiving end when it's in reverse. For one thing, it means some other things we'll talk about in a second. Work and finance, the Hangman in reverse. All these cards are in reverse so far. And lastly, your only upright card, the Eight of Wands upright, for love and relationship. And again, your overall energy is the Two of Swords in reverse as well. All right, so the Page of Swords in reverse is a card that in general reminds us that we can't plan for everything, right? Some things are going to just pop up unexpectedly, and we're going to have to deal with them. We're going to have to work through issues, challenges as they arise. We can't deal with them before they pop up, and anticipate everything. Unfortunately, that's the way the life works. And although a Virgo or an earth sign in general likes to plan, likes to be ready, and this is one thing you can't plan for. And so there may be some sort of internal struggle in dealing with that, but you'll get through it. You'll get over it. In terms of work, I talked in the beginning, before we shuffled, about conflict. That may be where the conflict is. That may be the unexpected thing that pops up. For some of you, I'm feeling like it's not going to be unexpected, though. Even though we have this Page of Swords in reverse, I feel like something's been going on at work for a long time for some of you. And it's finally going to like come to a head, as they say. And again, ultimately, I see you coming out on top with that Ace of Swords that we saw before. But it's having to go through the situation that just might get ugly. I don't know what it may entail for some of you, but you may get like called, into an office, so basically called to the carpet, right, to the mat, and have to face off in some way with somebody else. And this thing may be, again, a long time coming. Somebody that's been trying to cause you problems, maybe get you fired or whatever in the job for a while, and it comes to a head. For others, maybe it will be unexpected. You could get some sort of message or something that you weren't expecting, or again, some sort of conflict can pop up, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, just unexpected. So you may have to pause and think about your response. Take a few minutes. If you're looking for work, somebody's doing like a really extensive background check on you before hiring you. And again, that's not necessarily a bad thing either. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get the job, but just be aware of that. If you are somebody who uses any kind of substances that you think they may test for, you might want to take a break. They may even be looking into like your credit score. Some jobs are like that. Just know that's the only thing that's what's coming up. In terms of love, there could be conflict there too. Difficulty in communications. Mercury's currently your ruler. My ruler too is a Gemini, currently located in Leo. And that should mean good things for communications, but the Page of Swords in reverse sort of says differently. Just make sure you're saying what you mean and meaning what you say when you're talking to people. You're not BSing them. You're not beating around the bush. You're not being afraid to address issues and trying to sweep anything under the rug because you're afraid to ruffle feathers and all that kind of stuff. Be a sign that's ruled by Mercury. You know what I mean? And that's a sign that's not afraid to face the music and to communicate and to say what needs to be said. Virgos are very good at that. Not unlike Geminis. If you're single and looking for love, it's possible that you're attracted to someone who comes across to you as just like all talk, no action, or maybe even like they're bragging, and you might not like that. I know as a Gemini I wouldn't like that, but it's possible that they're just nervous, right? So maybe you want to give them a chance. And maybe they are an actual air sign. And if they are an air sign and they're being a big talker, my guess would be they're probably a Libra. But, of course, they can be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. or someone likened to those traits or attributes, or maybe sun, moon, or rising, with this Page of Swords showing up if it's representative of their energy. So moving on to the energy that is surrounding you. Again, the Six of Pentacles in reverse it's a card of generosity, just like when it's upright, but it's possible that you're not seeing the generosity that's available to you. And it's possible that the reason you're not seeing it, as I mentioned before, is because you're not so good at receiving. Like, some of us don't even anticipate the possibility of anyone wanting to give anything to us. We just feel like we give. And it's because maybe our eyes are closed. We're not realizing that we are blocking the energy of receiving. We're not open to acceptance. And so that's something for you to work on with yourself. And generosity means more than just, people giving you money, although that could very well be what it is with the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is a card that for me represents like assistance from the universe. It doesn't have to necessarily be something that we worked for or we earned. Well, we did, but it's not like direct payment for work. It's like, you deserve this. You're a good karma. You've been a good person. You paid it forward once, and here is your, your turn, right? Your number is up. It's time for your recompense or whatever, your compensation. And so some sort of assistance like falls out of the sky, and it doesn't have to be money. It's often the equivalent of money if it's not money. Like, for example, I kept seeing the Chariot. And I said people should be careful about being pulled over. And I actually was pulled over myself after I said that a couple of days ago. But in any case, if you get pulled over and the cop doesn't give you a ticket, or, does give you a ticket, but there's a way out of it, if it's something like, for the reason for which I got a ticket was brake light, all I had to do was have my brake light fixed, and then I didn't have to pay the ticket, so it's some sort of assistance like that. Could have been a lot more, a lot bigger. It wasn't. Or assistance from the universe. For example, you're the one that's looking for a job, and I said they could even be checking out your credit report. Maybe your credit report is not good. Maybe for whatever reason, the universe steps in and they don't check your credit report this time, even though that's something that they normally do. For whatever reason, yours isn't checked, or they lose the report and nobody notices, and nobody cares. It's not in your file and whatever. They're going to hire you anyway. It's that sort of thing, right? This assistance from the universe. In terms of love, you may need to open yourself up, a little bit more and communicate. And that goes hand in hand with this Page of Swords, again, about saying what you mean, meaning what you say, and exchange. And even though this is interesting though, because even though Virgos are ruled by the great communicator, the communication planet, and they are good communicators in terms of the talent, right? The ability to communicate. They can be tight-lipped sometimes, in terms of relationships and stuff. So you may want to work on that if that is you. If you're that type of Virgo, give more, right? Give more in terms of your communication and your energy to your relationships. If you're single, maybe you want to stay like that for right now. Maybe you're not interested in looking for anybody. The Hanged Man in reverse says that it's probably time for you to let go of some sort of relationship, situation, living condition, attitude, ideology, belief system, something you've just been holding on to it way too long, and it doesn't align with you. It doesn't fit you. Of course, think it through. We don't want to just, sacrifice something in our life for no reason. Make sure that this thing that you're releasing is something that no longer works for you. And if you're acknowledging that if you let go of it, you will open yourself up to new blessings, right? You can fill the space with something new that does resonate with you, that does align with who you are now as a person, as opposed to who you were in the past when you got into this relationship or started with this belief system or something. It definitely encourages you not to fight change, this card. And in this placement of your work and finance, it can be similarly in terms of work. There may be some, you may be called upon to do something new. And you don't want to fight change, especially if the boss has been watching you and is looking to you and then think that you can handle something. If you don't feel that you can, then maybe that's something you want to communicate. But just because, well, I like sitting in this desk, I don't want to go to that. Like, don't be that person, especially now where people are so thankful to even have a job. It's such a blessing, or to have an income rather, however you come about it. You don't want to be that person that is not flexible, right? And not a team player. So it's going to be very important for you to do that. And if it at all is up to you or becomes up to you to decide what to do at work or in a work, give some thought to what your ideal, in terms of ideologies, right? Your ideal situation at work would look like, and put yourself there, right? If you're given that opportunity. In terms of your finances specifically, it's possible that you're unsure how to deal with a financial situation, and you should know, again, you can get help. You're not alone, or you don't have to be alone. There are people that can help you with this, maybe down at the job, or somebody that is understanding of bookkeeping, maybe it has something to do with your taxes, or some sort of forms you need to fill out, maybe with all these things that are going on with the government, some sort of loan or grant or whatever. And there is assistance that you can get with that. Don't be afraid. Again, you're going to have to communicate and speak up, right, to the people around you. And lastly, love and relationships. The Eight of Wands, similar to what I said about the Two of Swords, the overall energy can be about somebody pushing too hard. You don't want to push someone into a relationship or a deeper commitment or a commitment at all or whatever before they're ready. You don't want to try to do that, because what we can do is sometimes push people away. So if you're feeling like you want to move faster and they're not ready yet, maybe there's something else with which you can distract yourself in the meantime to slow yourself down and try to remain on pace with this other person, at least right now, while these are the energies. And definitely, letting them know, communicating with the person what you are looking for in a relationship, what it is you would like, not being secretive about that, or trying to withhold that information, but not shoving it down anyone's throat either. Further for you, let's pull some advice cards from this deck, or these decks. So beginning with the Eight of Water, which is representative of like a desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful and spiritual and emotional growth. This can be you wanting to walk away from something, again, let something go that you've been holding on too long or dealing with too long. It no longer resonates with you or aligns with who you are as a person. Or this can be you wanting to work towards something that does work towards a new spiritual belief system, work toward a new relationship, work toward a new job, a new living condition, where you just feel more at home, more in your own skin, comfortable in your own skin and stuff. So that's the Eight of Cups. You have another 8 here, Major Arcana card number 17, the Star. Happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You are on the right path. The Star is about your dreams coming true, your wishes being granted, your prayers being answered. It's also a card, again, of communication, often having to do with some sort of form of technology, or maybe like online dating and Skype and FaceTime and all those kinds of things. Would may be how somebody is choosing to communicate with you, or how you're meeting somebody, or something like that. So further advice to those who resonate as a masculine archetype type out there, from the Animal Tarot, it is Major Arcana card 5, Unity, or the Hierophant, which actually has a lot to do with spirituality, or can have a lot to do with spirituality, and the people, places, and things with which we surround ourselves, and need to make changes to that because it no longer resonates with us. We have outgrown, our past relations and connections, and our souls are like yearning and seeking something that resonates with it, something with which we are aligned, right? We share a similar path and belief system. Embrace this time of deep spiritual growth. You may feel called to act as a mentor, to find a new teacher, or to spend time with others who are also on a sacred path. You may want to let go of church, for example. I know this is the placement of work and finance, but I'm just using the hangman upright as in reverse rather, as an example. You may want to let go of church and get into meditation instead, right? So like church is from your past ideology, maybe with what you grew up, and now you just feel yourself in a new place spiritually, and so you want to get more into self and understand your own energy and your higher self, your lower self, and get into things like meditation and whatnot. So you start to hang around those kind of people. You start to do yoga, and maybe you stop going to Bible study, just an example. For the feminine archetypes out there, this is your energy, the Knight of Pentacles, trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. Again, this is your energy as a Virgo, also that of Taurus, which the Hierophant represents too. I don't know if I mentioned that. And Capricorn, of course, or someone like into those traits or attributes. Some of you may be dealing with a fellow earth sign, maybe specifically a Taurus. Other than that, this card is about your dedication, your commitment to things, the way that you guys and earth signs in general, when you start something, you always set out to finish it. You like to make a plan. You like to remain committed, dedicated. You're dependable at work. People can count on you. And this is, like a tribute to that, basically. And also points out that something that you've been working on consistently, slow and steady wins the race, ultimately will be manifested as usual for you guys. And from the Angel Tarot to the masculine, the Nine of Swords, expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, and sleepless nights. So this is unnecessary anxiety and worry, possibly about your finances, again, a financial situation, possibly about your relationships, or possibly in your romantic life. You're wanting to move a little bit faster than your mate or potential mate is. And maybe that's why you need yoga or meditation, because I don't know why I was made to say any of that, but you definitely need to balance out your energies here and to, sort of chill out. You may want to listen to some binaural tones that can help with inability to sleep and with anxiety and such too. And lastly, for the feminine here, this is a card of cutting out things, letting go of things that don't align with who you are as a person. Queen of Swords, very good at that. All right. She is independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. Objective decision making and clearing away all that no longer serves you. That's our specialty. Also seeing the humor in a situation. And again, some of you may be perhaps romantically involved with an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone like into those traits or attributes. I hope you guys find this reading helpful. If you did, if you liked it, if you enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. I do thank you. If you're not yet a subscriber, consider becoming one by hitting both the subscribe button and the bell button. If you believe you're already a subscriber, if you don't mind checking, make sure that you are. YouTube is always kicking off my subscribers without their knowledge. And do, comment, share, all of that. I try to answer every comment that I get. If I see it, they've been playing with the comments too and moving them all over the place. But if I see it, I'm committed, although I'm not an earth sign, I'm committed to answering. Thanks again. Namaste.